There we go. There we go. Welcome. Gosh, it's so good to see all these faces right out the bat. I mean, just 2 minutes down. Yeah, Holda. It's so good. It's so good. I appreciate anyone who was planning on being at the last Kin's Domain call 2 Tuesdays ago. I had an unexpected thing come up and I was not able to host the call that night. But I'm super glad to be here now. Greetings from Toronto, still on my old computer, no video, plus mic. Oh, well, that's okay. In the chat. Welcome. Cool. Yeah, Holda did something I find interesting. If you guys like, you can put in the chat, or what I like to do is to rename myself. And then you put, where you're located at. It's kind of cool because there's been a couple of times where you're like, oh, you live right next to me, um, which is very cool. Let's see, about a pretty even percentage here of folks that I've met before and folks that I haven't. So I'm excited to connect with those that I've connected with and hear a little bit about those who I haven't. Applegate Valley. Wow, I lived in the right around the Applegate Valley for a little bit. Wow, that's really cool. And Gold Beach.
Cool.
Yeah, that's really beautiful. West Coast people here today. Southern Oregon, West Coast, Ventura, California, Berkeley. Jeez. Jeez. Am I the only one in the Midwest tuning in today? Portland. Kevin's from Portland. Oh no, Shane's here. Shane's here. Okay, so we're holding the Midwest fort down. Beautiful. Beautiful. I'll let a couple more minutes go by here for any stragglers that'd like to come in. Central Kentucky. Right on. I just had a friend move to what part of Tennessee? I don't know what part she told me. Tennessee somewhere.
I went to school at SIU in
Oh,
Alton, Illinois.
yeah.
I graduated dental school there.
Oh wow. Yeah, I remember my art teacher was always advocating for us to go there. He was like, SIUE, SIUE.
Well, it's where Lewis and Clark began their expedition up the Missouri. Alton,
Oh,
Illinois.
really?
Yeah.
I thought they began in St. Charles.
Nope. They went up the Missouri River from Alton, Illinois, where it runs into the Mississippi.
Oh, okay. Okay, because there's here there's so much history. I'm in Old Town St. Charles, Missouri, like with Lewis and Clark. I mean, that's like the big thing, but I actually didn't know that. That's very cool.
Well, my mate was from Florissant, Missouri, and we were there.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I did dentistry in Columbia
Oh, yeah, right on.
and Jeff City.
Yeah. Yeah, those are just like an hour west of me, and then St. Louis is like an hour east of me.
Right. I had a boyfriend there that was he was born in 1924, and he used to see the Indians wandering the plains there. They taught him how to track.
Wow.
So, and the Amish are there, and everybody breeds their last draft mare to a jack so that they can get a mule.
Oh, right. Yeah, I have some friends. I have some friends that live up in Monroe City. Sorry, yeah, Monroe City and Hannibal. And my one friend Carrie, he does regenerative sheep grazing, and he was telling me about like how that was all buffalo prairie, and that I mean that was like all native prairie. Missouri had one of the like it had a really big expanse of prairie in it, and now it's just corn and soy fields. So that's really cool to hear that little touch there too of like natives were walking, in 1924, not that long ago, less than 100 years ago.
Well, I've been in Licking, Missouri. That's where the buffalo used to stop to lick the rocks. That's why they named it Licking.
Really? I go through Licking, Missouri all the time. That's
Right.
interesting. I never
And
knew
it's on the
that.
rodeo circuit. It's a national
What?
rodeo circuit. Yeah.
No way. I didn't know that. Why? Because the rocks have salt in it, or?
Yeah, that's why the buffalo would stop there. Yeah.
Okay. Hmm. Wow. Geez, Jesse Jacobs, you're bringing all kinds of new facts about my home state.
Well, I lived there for 20 years, so
Right.
so
Right.
but the winters were brutal as you get older. You got 40-40 weather. 40 miles an hour, 40 below.
Yeah. Yes, we do. Hold on, I'm reading your chat here. Is anyone in Knoxville? Gabriel. Oh, Dr. Weston A. Price. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes, the Western Price. Oh, I should have said Foundation, their annual conference.
I very much love what Dr. Weston A. Price has to say. He's a very smart, intelligent man. Was, I guess.
Who knows? Maybe still is.
Beautiful, guys, beautiful. Well, it's 7:08, so I'm gonna go ahead and just begin. We'll get some more people in here. Um, First, I want to say, gosh, it's so good to be back here. These calls really mean a lot to me. They really lift me up. Um, I'm Wyatt. I am a partner ambassador with the Anastasia Foundation, and we are building the Ring Cedars movement across the English-speaking world. And it's such a pleasure to see familiar faces and non-familiar faces here. And I look forward to hearing anyone who'd like to share a little bit. So without further ado, that's how we usually open these calls, is kind of just doing a general check-in and opening the floor up to anyone new who'd like to just shout out, say, hey. If you can, we ask to keep it, like at least within about a minute. But we'd really love to hear about you and welcome you to our community. We've got a lot of really strong hearts here that would be more than happy to welcome you. So I'm going to open the floor up to that now, and then if there's nobody who wants to do that, we can move forward. But I'll leave some space and time for that. And feel free to go just popcorn style.
Have you heard Who Be the Powers That Be? One of my shortest songs.
No, we haven't. Holda's an amazing musician, for anyone who doesn't know.
This was inspired by Lynn Daniluk, who for several years was co-host with Cal Washington of the Friday gatherings of In Power Movement. And by the way, she declared me their poet laureate. So she's special. Okay.
Okay,
So
I'm ready.
who be the powers that be? Those who seek to control may think they're on a roll, but one thing that they need to know, it just ain't so. The powers that be we. All we gotta do is get a clue, and we will see. Take it from me.
I love it. Is that it? That is
That's
your
it.
shortest one.
Yeah, short and sweet.
That's so beautiful. Oh my gosh. There's something about how you like make these candid points and then make them just like funny and laughable, but it's like they're like spot. I'm like, yeah, uh-huh. I mean, yeah, it's beautiful. You have a beautiful way of doing that.
Thank you. And then if someone were to challenge me and say, well, who do you think you are? Well, then I've got ready in my hip pocket. I am the living law. 'Tis true. And so, my dear, are you. My creed is do no harm. Give no cause for alarm, and be the living truth of the law of one. That's the first verse. Halfway through.
I think when did you share that one first? Was it after the Freedom and Co-Creation event, I think? Maybe
I
I don't
don't
know.
have that on my radar, my brain calendar. I wrote it for the I Am the Living Law workshop that Marcia Ann mostly conducted at the Alphabetic Gardens, August 19th through the 21st.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And Ron Gibson kicked off the weekend.
I knew it had something to do with Ron or someone. Okay.
Yeah,
That makes sense. Cool. Well, thank you for that, Hulda, breaking the ice.
sure. And then I need to leave in about 15 minutes, so hit
Well,
and
I'm
run.
glad you shared that at least. What would this call be without one of Hulda's songs? Seriously, I've become accustomed to them, guys. They're very good.
Thanks.
Does anyone else like to introduce themselves, to share, say hello? Hi.
Hi there. My name's Freedom. I live in Vermont, and I just found out about, this group. I went online looking for Anastasia things, and somehow I got on this mailing list that said there was a call tonight. And it's really exciting to think that there's folks out there gathering and forming communities. It's really exciting. Years ago, I heard Leonid Shrashkin do some talks when I first read the books. And that was probably 15 years ago, maybe, I don't know. And I just circled back around and found the books again, and amazed at how the current events we're all living through are kind of rather illustrated and brought forth by Anastasia's words. So it's really exciting to know that there's folks out there, and I just thought I'd say hi.
Thank you so much. Welcome. Vermont's a beautiful part of the country that I've not been to yet. So, and that's what part are you in?
Well, actually, I'm near Wolcott, where there's a man named Timothy who has a Kins domain that he's been working on for 20 years. I don't know if you folks know about him, but I haven't met him yet. I'm going to go see him in a couple weeks. I found his name on the Anastasia website.
No, I haven't. I haven't heard of Timothy. But you found him like on the map?
I went on some Anastasia website, and it had people who had Kins domains or who were associated. I'm in Worcester, Vermont, and he's in Wolcott, which is probably 20 minutes away, 25 minutes away.
Wow. What a connection. And that happened just when you found the books again.
Well, yeah, that prompted me to get online and see what.
Wow.
Yeah, really cool.
That is really cool to like that chain of events though happened back to back. Yeah, when there's people, I remember when I first connected with people locally, it was just like, wow, what has my life been missing? Being in the flesh with people who feel as though they're family from a long time ago because they share such a deep-seated conviction that you as well have, and it's kind of like unspoken, right? That's, I think, the really interesting thing is it's almost like it's this unspoken agreement about what life is about and what you're both working towards, and where your heart and soul is at. It's an absolutely amazing experience. I wish you all the excitement and joy when that meeting comes. Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Do you have like a Telegram or anything? Do you do any of that stuff?
No, I don't do. I got rid of my Facebook account, and that's
Yeah,
as
that's good.
trendy as I got.
That's good. I would say the best place to stay up to date on the events here is just you're on the mailing list, which is awesome. And just keep checking the website and things like that. The, Anastasia Doubt Foundation, that's where a lot of the stuff is posted. I just mentioned Telegram because we have a really active Telegram group, like really cool conversations. So it can be a plus and minus because sometimes there's not good conversations, but it's what happens when you have like 2,000 people on one community chat.
There's also a few regional or state
Yes.
Anastasia Telegram groups.
Yes, and we're actually going to begin like publicizing and launching those more on a bigger scale soon. Regional people. So there is like a New York regional group, and so there's people that are basically like in regions of the country that will be hosting live events and doing their own unique calls based on the needs of that region. So welcome, Freedom. So good to see you here. And I know I remember the feeling of like finding these books. So I'm picking that up off of you, and I really appreciate you bringing that spirit.
Well, second time around is such a wonderful thing. You know how it is when you have profound books that I've carried with me, but finding them again, you hear different aspects of what they're saying, and very relevant for what's going on now.
Oh my gosh, is it ever? Jeez. There's some sections I'm like, wow, this is really like line for line, spot on. As my dear friend and sister Ariane says, these books are interdimensional. You know, it's like when you read them one time, you're reading them through the level of consciousness where you're at, and you're like, oh, okay, cool, I got it. And then you read it another time, and you're like, I didn't even know this whole chapter was here. Like, what? You know? I think we've all had that experience, I think.
Well, it's funny because the first time through, I think I got more of the spiritual stuff, and the second time through, I'm getting like, oh, wow, that's how it translates into day life and what's going on here. So,
Yeah, that's so beautiful. Oh my gosh, get me excited. Wow. Well, I hope to come up to Vermont someday because I really would like to check out Maine. I've never been to the East Coast. I've extensively kind of explored the western part of the United States, but my dear brother here, Noah, really talks highly of the East Coast. He hiked the AT, and he's like, "Oh my gosh, Vermont and Maine, you gotta go. You have no idea." And so I hope to make it out there someday.
I hike the AT too. It's a beautiful part of the world.
Wow, that's awesome. Okay. Thank you so much, Freedom.
Okay.
Is anyone else want to share? I know Jane. Oh, go ahead, Roselle.
Hello, my name's Roselle.
Hi.
And since Freedom is from Worcester, Vermont, I'm from Worcester, Massachusetts. So I'm also East Coast, and have kind of weighed about through the books in a sporadic kind of way. First one, probably half the lesson, 2 or 3 in the middle. I've kind of gotten most of it. So I just jump around and get a little bit here and get a little bit there. And but I'm a retired gal, so I don't know how you really want to implement this once you're, past your working years. And my son is, he has his own children that are in college. So, just to think about, Kin's domain, how would I do that? And what would that mean to the family? Anything, because my son has his own home. So certainly interesting questions.
Your audio is breaking up pretty bad. If you turn your video off, that might improve it.
But
Not that I don't want to see you.
but we did hear. I mean, I did. I
I
don't
had
know
a hard time.
Yeah, I heard pretty much what you were saying there.
Mhm.
I want to share one thing that's beautiful. So Worcester, Massachusetts, you said?
Worcester, Massachusetts.
Okay. Okay. Um, it's your story is reminding me of a story that's within the books, later in the books, where there's an old man, he's an old philosopher. I believe his name is Nicolay, and he basically has this house.
A mansion, yeah.
Yeah, you know the story. And
I read that part of the books, yeah.
Yeah, and so I feel like, there's no time that is too late. It's just maybe the approach is different, right? Like how I would approach it is like, I'm gonna go and build and do these things, it's I do, where there's a will, there's a way. And I think that there's many stories of folks over in Russia, you know, in the some 1,000+ kin settlements of, you know, retired folks and everything,
Oh, yeah.
getting their plot and doing all that.
Neat, neat. Well, thank you. I'm waiting with bated breath to see what the discussions are about tonight.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Does anyone else want to share real fast? We've got go for a couple more minutes open sharing. It's really nice hearing every new. I want to just say, Willow from Ontario, Canada, I really would love to connect you to the Canadian group. There's so much happening in Canada right now. There's actually like a meetup happening soon. Canada's on freaking fire. So I'd love to share if you're open to that.
Yeah, that's great to know. I just got home from work and I'm so hungry, so I'm eating and I don't want to eat in front of all of you. That's why I wasn't on camera.
All good, all totally good.
Yeah, I'd love to know any real people that are doing this. That would be fantastic, or somebody near me. I don't own a car anymore, and I live in an apartment. But
Are you in the Ringing Cedars of Russia Telegram chat?
no, I don't.
You don't have Telegram or anything?
Well, I did. Yeah, I was part of a group from Guelph, not with the Kins domain, but just a group that was, you know, alternative kind of thing. But
I would just, if you know this, I'm gonna put the link in the chat to that Telegram chat. If you post in there about like you know, hey, I'm in Ontario, I'm looking to join, you know, a group here, like there's so many people in Canada that will reach out to you. It's a really intensely awesome.
well, that would be great. Last time I was on here was my first time, and it seemed like the people were in like BC or Alberta or
Yeah,
somewhere.
yeah.
And I think there was one person maybe in Ontario, and I gave my email, but that person didn't contact me, and I didn't follow up anything either, because I just want to see who really wants to connect and
Right,
where to go.
right.
And I'm single, so I'm you know, looking to partner well, and then go from there. Or if there's a way to not do that and still be a part of things, that's interesting to me too. I have all sorts of resources in things, but yeah, minimal to contribute at this time other than myself, right? I used to be a registered massage therapist. I mean, I have lots of skills and things like that, but I can't just go buy land kind of thing at this point. And I'm here in Kitchener-Waterloo. My parents are in their 80s, and I give them massages once a week and take care of them, like, you know, helping to take care of them and stuff. So
That's really beautiful though. That's really beautiful. Like, I mean, that you're, you know, there's so many people that are ready to just throw that away, and like that's a really precious action. So I want to honor that. That's really beautiful. I added into the chat here, if you don't do, and this is for everyone else, if you don't do Telegram, this link that I just put in, https anastasia.foundation/community, is our private social network. And it's web-based, so you can log on any computer. There's about 800 members on there, and it's growing daily. It's our own private social network. There's a lot of information on there. You can see maps about where everyone's at, where readers groups are at, what events are coming up. You can share pictures, videos, music, all of that. It's a really beautiful place to connect. So Willow, I highly encourage you to check that out. Also Freedom, and anyone else who is not, you know, into the mainstream social media avenues.
wow, that's fantastic, Wyatt. Thank you so much. Thank you
Yeah.
for being so welcoming. I really do appreciate it. And like I said, normally I would be on camera, but I was like, got home from work, I'm so hungry. I'm just like, eat before I come on. But when you said that, I'm like, okay, I'll put down my bowl. I've had some, and then I'll go back to eating.
Thank you so much for pausing your nourishment. I please get back to doing that. You need to nourish your body. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Really
Yeah.
appreciate you and everyone. Thanks.
Yeah.
I'll see you in a bit.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, if anyone else doesn't have anything to share, and I'll leave a couple of seconds here. Jane, yes, please.
Yeah, so I know there's somebody else here from Canada, and I don't know if she has a mic, but she's in Alberta and I'm in BC. And I was on Telegram, but my computer crashed. And one of the things about Telegram is when you get back up, you can't get back in. So anyway, so I'm looking at, it'd be nice to have, I've got the website, so I'll go there because it would be nice to connect with other people. I actually just submitted an intro document to something else that I'm doing. And I had just incidentally, I just put that I had, about Anastasia and ringing cedars and how much it opened up ideas and creativity for me. And then I got your email. So that was great. So I'm really glad to be here. I just want to thank you for doing this.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, of course. Yeah. Thank you so much for being here. And sorry about the Telegram situation. But yeah, the community, the online community network is really where it's at, our own social platform. Like that's where we're trying to usher people really more, because that's definitely more user friendly, honestly, and you don't have to be a part of some big social media scheme or anything like that. So
Oh, great. Well, I will go to that, and it'd be nice to meet, more people. So thank you very much for doing this.
yeah, no problem. It's absolutely my pleasure. Yeah, I was trying to recall too. There's another woman, Holda maybe knows. I'm forgetting her name right now, but she's like interested. She's in on. I thought she was in Toronto, and she is like I can't remember. I mean, I can like describe her, and she's studied this evolution of cultures and something. I don't know if anyone here is remembering Shane or anyone. She's wore like an orange shirt last time. I'm not sure. Anyway, I was wanting to pass along her contact to these Canadian folks, because this woman is very much like ready to connect and engage, and she's very knowledgeable and cool. So if I find that contact, I will pass that along.
Okay, so I have the link and that you posted in the chat. So thank you.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay.
I'm seeing if I've got her contact here for you guys, because this woman would love to connect with you. Well, we'll see if I can find it.
So is this an ongoing weekly connection here?
Yeah. So it's every other week, and there's going to be more calls coming soon. But yes, it's every other week on Tuesdays. And originally, I started this call. I'm a permaculture designer, and I do like ecological landscape design and things like that. So I originally started this call with the intention of like, hey, let's talk about kind of the practical things about Kin's domain design. And I'm still totally like, that's my favorite stuff to talk about. Well, besides the philosophy and the spirituality and talking about God and things like that. But as we had other community calls that we're going, and then they ended up kind of stopping, and so this call kind of became a lot more of a community just get together, because so many people just needed to like connect and share their experiences and what was happening. So I let that evolve as it is, but we're going to have more calls coming back online, and so I'm looking to really navigate this ship, so to speak, back into the realm of speaking pretty clearly and concisely about the permaculture side of things and the ecological side of things, and setting up practically, like how do we set up these structures for ourselves, and that can mean everything from like literally planting or from legal lawful stuff. All of those things are totally fair game topic conversations. Usually I may bring up a certain point or a quote, and then we roundtable it. Other times the whole call is just filled with questions, comments, and experiences from people, and then we kind of jump off of that. So it goes many different ways.
Okay, thank you very much.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. Well, does anyone else have anything to share?
Yeah, I'd like to share. I just recently relocated to the Applegate Valley from California, and I came across this whole Anastasia movement with a Bear Landau's. You know, he had a Alpha Vedic uh, show which featured this concept, and it resonated very strongly. And so I did buy some land, and I'm just having to learn what to do with it. And so that's a different problem, I suppose. Is just how to work with it, and so those practical kind of things. I mean, and just kind of keeping and preserving the energy of the place is really important to me too. But those practical kind of applications are really important to me right now. So that's primarily what I'm interested in, and finding people locally who can kind of help me navigate that whole thing.
Um, I have a question for you, if you don't mind me asking. How much land do you have?
6.3 acres.
Okay, and by the way, Canadian folks, I found the person's contact. I'm gonna put it in the chat. Um, what is the ratio? What's the ratio of land like that's wooded to like pasture, things like that? Is it very open? Is it woody or
Very open. Yeah, it's very open, and it has water on it.
water
Yeah,
is water is in what? Like a lake, a spring, a stream?
it's on the Applegate River, actually.
Oh, lucky.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy. I don't even know how I landed here. In a way, it's gorgeous. I just really love it. And I don't want to, I want to make it work, you know?
This is a brilliant opportunity. I think, and if you're comfortable with it, I'd love to like just, 5-10 minutes, but like if you're comfortable completely like sharing, like some of the feelings you're feeling approaching this land anew. And then like what are the, maybe we can all work through those things together. I feel like that might be really cool if you're comfortable with that though.
Yeah, I'd love to do that.
Cool. Um, so yeah, if I may ask, like what is, if I was a random stranger on the street and you were like, I need to tell somebody about this problem that I'm having, like what would be the one thing with the land right now, if you had to choose, that is like in your mind kind of a block?
Um, well, right now I need to get a garden started, and so this is actually kind of the ideal time to do that, because the first thing you do is prepare the land, and in the fall it's a good time to do that. And I ran into this woman and also I have to get used to, the seasons are different here than where I came from in California. It's a little different as far as getting acclimated.
Yeah.
And I had somebody locally that was going to help me, and she was good at permaculture and reading the land, and she was going to walk the land with me, and she's had some health problems. So that relationship, I'm not sure where that stands as far as her being able to help me at this point. So I just want to get the land ready right now for a garden. And, there's just so many questions, like where's the best place to put it? And, just all kinds of things. I just want somebody to come out and walk the land with me who really knows that kind of thing. Does that make sense? Is that something that could
Yeah.
be
No,
addressed?
it does. And like, I've done like consultations like remotely, and it's really hard. It's really hard to gauge
Um,
that. You have to like really like feel the land, and like um that the remote stuff does give you kind of the technical stuff, like, oh, okay, your high points, your low points, this is where your water's going, this is where your soil, good fertile soil should be deposited, this is, but it also requires a lot of assumptions to be made, and sometimes those assumptions just they're not correct.
Right, right,
And
right.
you know, you're like, oh, the sun probably is going to rise here. Like you can tell that because based on the solar chart, and then like, well, you get there and you didn't realize, well, there's this hill in the background that you don't see on the satellite image, and you know, it's like there's all those things that come up. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a pretty busy person. I do like consultations, and I also can point you in the direction of people who do
Oh, that'd be great.
consultations as well. I mean, maybe if you wanna put your email into the chat. I work with Food Forest Abundance, and I also do my own private type of stuff. Um, so if anything, I can connect you with a network of people and give you some resources. Because you know, the thing with when we move to these kins domains, when we move to our land, you know, we really have to be the ones. I told who was I telling that to? But basically, the truth is like we are the ones who know the decisions we need to make better than any other designer is going to tell us. And it's challenging because it requires us to be empowered, right? And we're kind of brought up in this foreign attitude towards nature, and even though we're all working to like reconnect with that, it still feels like it's a new relationship, right? And we don't know all the working pieces and the connections. And I think the biggest thing that I try to share with people is it's completely intuitive. You know, like that space that you're like, I think the garden should go here. Like that's the space for it. And it doesn't mean that you're being irrational with the choices of like, well, I think the garden should go here, right next to the river. When it floods, you know, oh, it's not going to bother the garden. Like, well, you know, you got to use some rational, but at the same time, being really intuitive with your decision making is the key to land design, and that's something they don't teach you in school. And that's how the natives read the land. You know, they listened.
Right.
They listened and they felt it. And there was signs. You know, something that really is important too is that like, what does the land want? Because each piece of land has its you know, you can look at it from a scientific perspective and where it would be called a mature ecosystem, or you can look at it from a holistic perspective and be like, what is this, you know, what's the most pristine, beautiful state it could be at? But either way, we have to tap into that projection of the future, because like nature is always moving towards that mature ecosystem. It's always trying to get back to the Garden of Eden. It is always trying to get back to the Garden of Eden. And we continually halt its processes. And so the best thing that we do is just like step out of the way. And, you know, that's what permaculture invites us to do. And permaculture really should just be spoken as indigenous wisdom and practices that have been collected. And they just understood that. They understood like, hey, let's work with it instead of working against it. You know, let's make my plans fit its will instead of my will fitting, or my will that it has to fit my will, you know?
Yeah, I'm definitely feeling that. I want to do it justice. You know, I just really want to do it justice and work with what's here. And if I make any changes, I want to, yeah, I don't want to mess it up. I want to really make changes that are going to work here.
Yeah. Well, I just
Can I just make a suggestion?
Yeah.
Can I make a suggestion? I don't know exactly where this gal's located, but we have an American Society of Dowsers, and dowsers can help you with land placement. And, you know, they work with pendulums or dowsing rods. You know, they can help you find where you should plant a well, of course, but lots of other things as well. And I'm sure if she's Canadian,
that's really interesting. My husband does some dowsing, so I just never thought of doing that. You know, he does it. You know, he checks out, you know, like energies in the house and stuff like that. But I haven't thought of asking him to do it for that purpose.
Oh, you can use the dowsing for just about anything.
Yeah,
And
it's
it
just that
taps
it
into
didn't occur to me.
it taps into our intuition and into the divine wisdom, so that it's working together as a synchronous whole, instead of us trying to impose our will. And why don't I plant the lake here when the lake really wants to be on the other end of the property, or what have you? Okay, sorry, I'm not trying to interrupt. Thank you.
You're
No,
not
no, no, that was
No, that's
really lovely.
beautiful.
Yeah, consideration to take into account. Thanks.
If Roselle, do you have experience with dowsing?
Will go out, if I'm in the grocery store or trying to decide my better menu choice, the healthier, what's the highest and best for my good right now today for this meal, or sometimes my best route to get, into Boston or something like that. So it's more practical. It's not so much working with the land, but you can use it on any sort of venue. So yeah, it's cool.
That's really beautiful. It sounds kind of a little bit like, what is that? Kinesthetics? Is that
Kinesthesia.
kinesthesia? Yeah, like where I was having a lady tell me that the other day, doing like resistance tests with things like that. She was speaking about essential oils. Well, she put a drop of, she gave me a drop of cedar essential oil and she's like, put it on the roof of your mouth and it goes to every cell in your body in 2 minutes. I was like, okay. And then she's like,
Kinesiology is the word. Kinesiology.
kinesiology. Okay. Okay.
Right.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, very beautiful though. Christine Marie, it sounds like you have a really, really amazing journey ahead of you though. Like seriously, that's gonna be fun. Yeah, I don't shake your head. It's gonna be fun.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you. The other thing that is kind of cool is that both my offspring live in the area, so we moved to where they are, and they love the property and they like to come here and help with things. So I'm feeling really blessed with that, and looking forward to sharing this with them.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's really beautiful. I was sending an email to a man who actually he's the pastor at a church nearby, and I was telling him, I'm like, hey, we should put a community garden in at your place. I was like, trees are the best investment in the future, and they really are. So that's, I don't know. Whenever I think about, offspring and land, I just immediately start thinking about trees. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna plant an apple for my son and maybe a cedar for my daughter and maybe a birch and a willow for my forebear. Like I love trees in the land. There's something that lasts. They do so much good for the ecosystem.
Right,
The external ecosystem and the internal ecosystem.
right. I agree.
Yeah. Yeah, that's really beautiful. I'm glad. Thank you so much for allowing us to share it and talk about that for a moment. I'm wanting to hit all the points here that people came to this call for, and I don't really like monologues, and so if anyone has like particular questions for the community here that we can all kind of talk about together, I really invite us to share those. If people, I saw some people with pens and things like that. Like if you've got a question burning in your mind, please. And also like Christine, if you still have one, like I just don't, I could go on monologues, I could pull quotes from the book and keep talking, but I prefer to make it feel like everyone's, heard and included. Willow, if you're trying to speak, Willow, I think you might be muted, but maybe you're not. Oh, you're not trying to speak. Okay, you're just there. Okay, cool. Sorry.
I had a question. I don't know if it's,
Yeah.
I don't have the land right now to put it on, but I got a little seedling that was found itself planted. It came from a mature tree that's about 60 feet It's huge tree anyway. So I've nurtured it in a pot and I have it now. It's about 3.5, almost maybe 4 feet tall. It's in a huge pot. I don't know if anybody has experienced with English walnuts, but I know they need to be in the ground. So I'm hoping it'll survive another year.
Yeah, it will. It will if you have a place to put it and you tell it that. It'll wait.
Okay,
It will. It will.
thank you. It's got to have a lot of land because its mother is huge, massive. So
Is Jane, that's really cool. That sparks an idea. Does anyone here, is anyone growing trees that they'll eventually plant on their land? Has anyone
am.
here got any trees started? Even one, even two?
I've got a lot. I just started 50 mimosas.
Ah, Mimosa the silk tree. Nice.
Yeah, it nitrogen fixing.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
want to
they
put it
are.
everywhere. Yeah.
Yeah.
how do you spell that?
Mimosa. The mimosa tree. It was brought over from China. Um, it creates these flowers that have like a silk thread to them. It's absolutely beautiful in bloom, and it has this tropical look, but it's hardy, you know, like it grows here in the Midwest.
So it can survive winters.
Yes,
Okay,
that's awesome, Kevin. Yeah, there's some mimosa
thank you.
trees at the property that I'm building. It's absolutely beautiful. Anybody else growing any trees? No?
Well, I haven't done that yet, but I wanted to say we talked about this in the well, I talked about it in the readers meetup that Ariane just did. We were doing book 5,
Oh yeah.
um, and I brought up that there was in book 5 they I don't want to spoil anything.
No.
She's talking about her vision for Russia in the future.
Yeah.
And she said the entrepreneurs planted the little cedar saplings, they little and um and I was thinking that because we were talking about how like sort of like manifesting and I was thinking like I think that law got passed like because they planted the seedlings like
Right. Is this the story you're talking about in Novosibirsk where they get a whole alley, right, to plant?
um well yeah they did do that but I'm talking about it's like at the beginning of the pretty early on in the book where she says where they passed the law in Russia and the entrepreneurs anticipated that and they had their seedlings ready. And I was just thinking, like, to me, the way manifesting works, my understanding of it is that they probably caused that law to get passed by planting the seedlings.
Right, right. What are you proposing here, Shane?
Just that everybody go and do that.
So Shane is proposing that everybody here, all right, I'm gonna send some links. Shane is proposing that everybody here get some trees. Specifically, he's suggesting Siberian cedar trees and to start planting them in pots and perhaps, just perhaps, um, actually not perhaps, it's a for sure. A law will be passed, or that there will be. These trees are magical, so either way, I'm in favor of Shane's idea here. I just put a link of where I get my cedar seeds from. This is eco-minded. McGree LLC also sometimes has them, but right now they don't. This is a very reliable source. I will show you on this topic. Hold on. Hold on here. Gotta get out my box of cedar cones. So these are from Russia, harvested last November. And let me get out of this way here. Let's see, I will lift this up so people can see. So these are all cedars. This is a big box full of cedar cones.
Very cool.
Yeah, yeah. So they preserve. Oh, such a good smell. They preserve very well in the cone. They'll preserve for multiple years in the cone. The seeds themselves won't. That was a little piece of resin. My dream is to grow as many of these trees as I possibly can. They will grow in areas that get a frost, so they just have to have a frost. And the heat. I mean, I don't know that it's their favorite, but I am in belief that the 9 or 10 saplings that I have growing outside that were started this spring and are now like little nice mature little baby trees, they'll adapt. They'll adapt because we'll want them to. I love your shaker. That's awesome. That's cool. Thank you, Willow.
So, so I have a couple of questions. So, what was the name of this company where you got these cones, by the way?
Eco-minded. I put the link in there.
No, I don't always think these things. Eco-minded. So, where are they located?
They're in Russia.
Oh, okay.
What? Yeah.
Because I try not to do online ordering since, this fraud thing seems to be such a challenge. Okay, so I have another question. So, you asked for questions.
Go ahead, please.
So, okay, so I actually, I've probably read more than half the books, but not, like I said, not in a straightforward fashion. So, the pond world, or maybe you're lucky enough to have these already on the site. But okay, so if you dig this hole, it'll probably fill with water. How do we be assured that it is going to fill with enough water to keep us, literally afloat as far as having enough enough water to water the plants, the trees, and how do we be sure that this is viable water that's clean and not polluted, and the geese don't come and make this their happy area where it's full of geese mess. And not that they don't need a place, I'm not saying that, but what is the process? Because it's like my girlfriend's she's out in the country, they have to have a well, they're always checking the well, they've got to have pumps, they've got to have filters, they've got to have. How can we make it? I mean, the books sound simple, but I can't believe it's that simple.
So can you clarify your question for me? Or what exactly are you?
So I find my hectare of land and I find someone who has a bulldozer and I intuit or douse where I think my pond needs to go. So we dig this pond to, I don't know, maybe the middle's 20 feet deep. And, come spring, when there's the melt off, it'll probably fill to some degree. Is that going to stay filled? Is it going to be clean water?
So a couple of things. The books definitely don't suggest that a pond is the only source of water. And that would be even in any other design system, having one source of water would not be good. You definitely want like 3. So and a pond can be filled in a number of different ways. Diverted from a spring, naturally if you go below the water table, which in most areas is, I don't know, depending on if you're a desert. I mean, here it's like maybe 10 feet, 15 feet where I'm at. It'll fill with water to that point. In addition, like a well, there's many different types of well. You can do shallow wells, you can do super deep wells, you can do artisanal wells. There's many different types. I know that the Kins domains in Russia have created and spent time creating their own water systems, basically. So maybe like 2 or 1 central well, and then they divert that to everyone's domain. I mean, as a permaculture designer, all I would say is that like on our domains, we should be very resilient. So like we should not just have one source of water. You know, we need to have a pond, of course, because of the ecological benefit and the swimming benefit, of course, and things like that. But we also
Mhm.
need to have a well. And then in that case, if the well goes out, well, do we have water stored anywhere? And the storage doesn't have to be in tanks, but the storage ideally needs to be in a higher location so that we can gravity feed it somehow down. So do we have an alpine lake anywhere nearby, or a pond that's a little higher in elevation, or do we have a stream nearby or a river? All of those things will create that stability. And then there's places in Russia where everyone digs their own well, or they drill their own well, for their own domain too. uh you know, it's hard right now because we do have to keep this in mind of like, is the water pure? But very soon, in the next 100 years, we won't be thinking about that so much. In certain areas where the dominant um land mass is being occupied by people who are purifying the land rather than toxifying it, you know, we're not going to have to worry about if I can drink from a spring. um you know, and is that gross? Is there going to be E. coli or something in that? Those are just my thoughts, Roselle. I don't know if that answers any of the questions.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. To answer, Kevin said something in the chat here. I looked up Siberian cedar and found that it's actually Siberian pine. Botanical name Pinus sibirica. Is this true? Yes, this is true. But what's interesting is if you look at the tree itself, it actually exhibits more cedar qualities than it does pine qualities. Um, and then there's things that it exhibits about the pine that it doesn't exhibit about the cedar. For example, there's no cedars that really have what's called the pine nut. But then there's no pines that really have the same properties as the cedar. So I think about it as a cedar. I mean, it has the same properties as the eastern red cedar has here. You know, where it's like you build a chest out of it and no bugs will ever get in it. It's rot resistant, all of those different things. So, um, they refer to it as a cedar in Russia. The scientists may refer to it as something else. To be honest, I don't care too much what the scientists think. That's just me. Yeah. Well, okay, so back to Shane's invitation, because I think that's exciting. I invite everyone here, if you haven't already, this is the perfect time. There's big trees dropping seeds all around you. If you're in deciduous climates, oak, acorns, I don't know. The maples have, I think, already maybe dropped their seeds. Anyway, there's a lot of tree seeds dropping. And it would be a really cool thing to do is to go and even gather just 5 and plant them in a pot of soil. And you know, you could do some research on, do you need to keep the seed in a cold environment to mimic winter? Do you need to do those things? But I just invite you to do that because I promise you that if you plant these seeds with intention, if you plant these seeds with not just the thought of yourself, but the thought of your future family and your future land, I promise you, I can tell you from my own experience and from the experience of hundreds of other people, like you will not be sorry. You'll feel this connection. The trees will act as a living reminder to you for your dream. And like, that is what I want to add to what Shane was saying about manifesting, is like, it is the continued inspiration that keeps it going as well. And having that physical reminder, because we are spirit and matter, right? Like, we are physical, so we're not supposed to just descend off into 27D or 6D or whatever. Like, no, we're here, we're matter. And having those trees as a physical representation is super powerful, even if it just means that one day you're going to pass along the pot to your grandson or your granddaughter. Like, whatever it becomes, those trees will carry a lot of power, and they'll lift up your soul a little bit. And we all could use a little bit of that. So highly encourage you. The acorns are all dropping around my house. Apparently the oaks this year, like, I think it's a sign there's going to be a big winter. I don't know. There's acorns everywhere. There's all kinds of trees. You could order some seeds. I highly recommend checking out Etsy if you're looking for like unique tree species, because you can get a lot of like really kind of unique ones on there. Um, yeah, I highly recommend that. I really encourage you and invite you to do that. You will not be sorry. You'll be thanking the tree. Yes, yes, yes. 10 different trees? I want to know, can you share what trees you have? Larissa?
Guys, I live in Florida. I have lime tree, lemon tree, tangerine, olive tree, pomegranate, Barbados cherry, moringa, chaya. I cannot count. I didn't read any of the books, but my friend came to the garden I created for past 1 year from scratch. I designed myself, I built, I bought soil. Christine Marie, you have to start from soil first. My suggestion, heal the soil first, give some love. So she came to my garden and she says, wow, I feel like I'm in a Anastasia book in your garden. And I didn't know anything about the book. I asked her if she can lend me to read. She refused, like, no, you better purchase it yourself. And I was doing some research online and you guys pop up. I'm like, wow, thank you, Jesus. You know, that's how universe work. And I send her a link. I'm like, you see, you didn't give me the book, but the creator sent me these people. So I'm on the mailing list. And that's how I'm attending this event tonight.
Wow, that is really, really awesome. I'm super glad to hear that. I'm gonna send you, I have the PDFs of the book, although the link might have changed because now
She refused because she said it's very personal. I have a lot of notes. And speaking of growing the trees, I'm from Russia, and our culture is, what's the purpose of your life? They were telling us since we were children, the first thing you have to do in your life, you have to plant a tree to give life.
that is really beautiful.
Yep.
That's like like that's what they tell you as children.
Yep. The first, what's the few things you have to do in life? The first thing, you have to plant a tree.
Wow. That's really special. You know, I was thinking about how wonderful and how honorable and respectable the Russian culture is. It's really, really beautiful. Thank you for sharing that piece of wisdom. And I just put
My
the link,
pleasure.
I just put the link in the chat. If you click,
Mhm. We lost you.
What's up?
sorry about that, guys. 1 second, I had a little difficulty. Um, but I put the link in the chat there. And if you click on that link, it'll open up a cloud-based thing, and you can, all the books are on there and on a PDF.
Yeah.
Book 1, book 2, book 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 8.1, 8.2, and then the book that they just, well, not just released, but the latest one, book 10. So please feel free to check those out.
Thank you. I will.
Yeah.
I will.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Wow.
Sure. Yeah, I moved to Florida 2 years ago from a concrete jungle in New York City, and I grow everything I eat. I grow it all organic, everything from seeds, more or less. I bought 150 seeds for different seasons for our zone.
So, and you're able to like grow all year round, right?
Yeah.
Oh, lucky.
Well, June and July it's difficult, but certain things like sweet potatoes, and people don't know you can eat sweet potato leaves.
Yes.
You can eat raw, you can saute, you can make soup, you can do smoothies. We have Okinawa, we have longevity spinach, we have chaya, aka Mexican spinach, which you have to cook for 20 minutes first, 3 times more benefits and nutrition facts than regular spinach. So it's a lot of plants that exist and grow the whole year round. You just need to do some research. That's for you, Christine Marie, as well. Do your research.
So how big of a place do you have?
Oh, very small. It's not even my place. My friend gave me his yard full of junk, and I look and I see the great potential. And Christine Marie, I used to come to the place and just observe the sun. And keep in mind, winter sun move one way and the summer a different way. And then how you plant and see which plants need more sun, which plants can go to 4 hours a day. And I didn't grow anything in my life, but it's just common sense.
I love it. It's just common sense. It is.
Yes.
It is common sense. Yeah, it's a skill we all have.
So I have a beautiful garden, and everything, because I'm from New York City, live in shoebox, you always save space. So I learned how to grow everything vertically. Sweet potatoes, I don't let them grow horizontal. I make them like arches.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Right. You see.
And it's beautiful. And it's also, it is like a lot of Asian and African plants grows in Florida in the summer on 9500 degrees, and they love it. I have a bean 4 feet long.
Oh, the yard long beans?
No, that's python snake bean, 4 feet long. The one you're talking about, the 36 inches. No, 4 feet long.
Oh my gosh.
Loofah going crazy, and you guys can eat loofah, and you can grow them up north as well. The little loofah you can cook and eat like zucchini.
Wow. This is awesome. You know, so we can't grow all of those crazy things all year round here where I'm at, but you're really inspiring me to grow the sweet potatoes in the arch now, because I've got them sprawled out on the ground. I've got plants in the middle of the sweet potato, but I'm gonna do that.
Yeah, you also, for the soil, like you guys were saying, some of the mimosa. I never knew you guys can grow mimosa in the United States. That's the plant flowers we give in Russia for Mother's Day.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's like any Russian person you ask, what do you give for your mother? Mimosas.
Oh
And
my.
I wish I could grow them here. Nah, they need cold.
Yeah, they need the cold.
Yeah.
Wow. When did you move from Russia to New York?
1993.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I'm living beautiful Florida state right now.
That's awesome. Are you close to the ocean?
Yes. So after hurricane, now my garden looks very naked. Heartbreaking, but it's okay.
It's okay.
Like we say in Russia, your hair is not the teeth that will grow. The same with greens.
Yes, yeah, right.
So yeah, it was horrible. Everything flew away. I cut all my sweet potato vines today because they just impossible to eat. But they'll grow in a few weeks. They're like very aggressive, but I love it. And they're good for the soil as well.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Larissa, you're offering so much knowledge. This is beautiful.
You're welcome. All right, guys, next person. Thank you for listening. I'm so glad to be here and be a part of community. And I would love to do something in Florida.
Yeah, there's so many people in Florida. So if you check out the community, the online community, which I will put the link.
I couldn't find anything on the website. I did look. I could not.
Okay, so I just put the link in there again.
Okay.
If you click, if you go to that, and then yeah, you'll be able to find like some Florida people, or just do a post, say like, hey, I'm from Florida, or I'm in Florida and I want to meet up, and you'll get people.
Yeah, because I don't do social media.
No.
Facebook, this is my face right here, right now.
Yeah, right. We don't need it everywhere.
All right. Thank you guys for listening. I'm gonna be listening now.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Jane. Bye bye. Yeah. Wow. That's amazing. It's awesome. Now I'm just thinking about sweet potatoes. Planting them, and it's good. It's good. Yeah. I found out this year that you can eat the leaves. That's incredible too. So many people. It's like everyone's talking about that. You can eat the sweet potato leaves. They're so good. If you haven't tried them, guys, grow your own sweet potatoes. Yeah. Yeah, I know there's a few people here who are really into gardening. I know Tutu's very into gardening. I know that Ryan has done a pretty cool like mandala garden. Um, oh yeah, and Larissa Jesse Jacobs just put his email in there too. Um, there's probably a lot of people here have gardened before, yeah, right? Yeah. Shane, do you have a garden?
I don't have much experience with that. I mean, I've been like dabbling in it, I guess, the past few years. It's mostly just like lamb's quarter.
Hey, well, that's tasty too.
I was actually kind of wondering, like, if anybody knew what to do with lamb's quarter seeds, because like I have a trillion of them.
Yeah, I believe you can make a flour out of them. I've heard. Let me find you that real fast. I believe you can make a flour. Yeah, how to use line code from root plant to seed. The one thing I know about harvest seeds in the fall. Yeah, so it basically just says like, oh wow, it's interesting here. It says wild grains are more potent than domesticated grains, and a small amount is often enough to sustain your energy. So it can be sprouted. It's similar to quinoa. I'll send this link in. This is just Chelsea Green Publishing. You can check that out. But I will send this link right here. Oh, your next tree. See, I can't grow ashwagandha. You're so lucky. But I can grow the Siberian cedar and mimosa, so haha.
You guys, all of you from north, you should grow come on. I lost it. It'll come back to me. For leaf purposes, for flowers, and for the seeds. Oh, come on. They grow like a trees. They're not the tree, they're plants. It'll come back to me. I forgot the name. Shame on me.
Yeah. No,
Full of nutrition. It'll come back to me. The ashwagandha. Yes, I just did my research. I can do ashwagandha. It's like and the same with tapioca. The numbers for the trees to grow, and you use only roots, 8 to 9 months, like woman pregnancy. Isn't it amazing?
that is.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Amaranth.
Yeah.
You guys can grow amaranth, eat the leaves, raw, saute, soup,
Yeah.
and flowers you can use for these desserts. It's just an amazing.
And you can dye clothes with it too.
You know what I just discovered? Because before the storm, I collect a lot of leaves. I dry them, and now I'm gonna make a powder. So 100 grams of leaves, which I measure, and I will grind them. It's 75% of your daily needs of vitamin C.
Oh.
So I'm gonna grind them, put in a jar. I'm just gonna use the spoon. That's it. I don't take supplements. I'm paranoid. I don't trust anybody.
Supplements don't make any sense. It's like nature provided us with everything that we need. We just have to get the right nutrition. And then if we don't have access to that, then I guess supplements are the best. But, I mean,
I don't know what they put in the supplements. No.
I know.
And speaking of the water, Roselle, she was talking about the water. First of all, you cannot control the water. Whale is great, yes, but the rain, the best water is from the rain, because whale and the soil still have chemicals, so that you cannot control. And don't just go crazy what to do with the trees. Let them be.
Yeah. Well, you have to be careful though with the rain near the cities though. That rain you has to filter.
Yeah.
Lots of chemicals. What was that name of? There's a couple of different. There's so many cool plants that God has given us. Seriously, it's really amazing. It is really amazing. Schizandra.
Yeah.
That's the one we can grow. Yeah, Schizandra. I was like looking, I had to do a quick little search. We can grow Siberian ginseng here in the cold. What else? So many medicines. It's like why go to the doctor? Why go?
So I'll share a bit about, I had a garden at my uncle's condo. Like he has a condo, and the older people, they're 85 and up, and they have little garden plots. So for $20, it was an 4x8 plot. And I put some things in, but mostly there was like parsley, and then the dandelions were coming up and the plantain, and I like that. So I've been picking the dandelion and plantain and the young plantain seedlings. The people around me weren't happy because I had these weeds in my garden, but I kept trying to re-educate them and say like they're healing plants, right? And I would pick off the plantain seed pods, because then they wouldn't be so upset because they're not going to spread to their garden, right? And when they're young and tender, I would just like use them raw. I just use a little grinder thing, like a pull grinder, and just pulverize it and then make a pesto with it. I just add different things in, nutritional yeast and sea salt, herbs, whatever I wanted, and put it on pasta. I mean, it has a bitter edge, but it's like so good for the liver and gallbladder, right? And I just basically have that kind of once, sometimes twice a week, and it's been fantastic. And if you leave some plantain, especially in your garden, the bugs like that better than they want to go after your plants. If you pull out all what we consider weeds, then all they have left is your vegetables and your vegetable leaves and stuff. So then they're going to decimate that. But overall, in my garden, wherever there was other things, they didn't really touch that other than the kale. They like the kale and the black kale, but they'll go for the plantain leaves. And then there's still plenty of plantain leaves for you. I mean, plantain is hardy as heck. Oh my gosh, it'll just take
Yeah.
but so that's what I just wanted to share that. It's been
No,
great.
that's really interesting though about the plantain. I haven't ate a lot of it internally. I've used it, like as the chew a plantain leaf when you have a cut.
Yeah.
But I haven't ate a lot of it. And I know dandelion. I eat dandelion a lot. But I think it's important to remember too that weeds aren't weeds at all. They're actually doing their job in the soil, right? So like if you have dandelion, that means your soil's lacking some iron and lacking some things. So the dandelion's like, cool, I'm gonna do my job and I'll bring it all up for you. And same thing with the docks and sorrels and things like that. They bring up those vital minerals. And a lot of our vegetables are actually just have been what would we say, naturalized weeds, right? So like the brassica family, mustards, I mean that's like one of the first weeds that will emerge in a site. If you bulldoze a site, brassicas will be the first thing that come. And we've just kind of domesticated, and we've bred them, and now we have broccoli and kale and things. Those are all brassicas. So like when we have bugs, like you're saying, the bugs like your plants, if we have other brassicas there, then sometimes they'll go to the other brassicas. Whoa, I did not know that thistles grow where soil is toxic. Oh, I had like 2 thistles in my garden. That makes me think, Kevin. Interesting. Yeah, interesting. Wow. Okay.
And this is a follow-up, because if anybody's listening to me, like you want the young tender leaves, the inner, so you leave the outer and the bugs can go for that. And then you take the young tender dandelion leaves, and I still leave the plant and the plantains, because then they're less bitter and less tough and more palatable. and tasty.
That's funny you say about the pesto too. I've had some dandelion pesto. It's good. It's
Yeah,
good.
and salt will help balance out bitter. People think
Yeah.
of sweet, but it doesn't really balance out bitter, but some salt and the
Yeah.
nutritious yeast and pumpkin seeds and whatever, and it makes this yummy, and some
Totally.
olive oil and
Yeah. Yeah, I think you could actually serve it in a restaurant if you put some garlic in there and you really like made it. You could make it a high-end thing.
oh, yeah, you're right, Wyatt. You definitely could with the garlic, and but again, for people who would like the bitter edge, but if they didn't, then add some little tomatoes,
Yeah, right.
tomato, and that will help balance it out too. There's lots of ways, so just putting that out to everybody can be a great way to use some of your weeds and see them
Yeah.
different and enjoy
Yeah.
them.
What a
Medicinals, I was re-educating them, telling them they're medicinal plants, and oh, I love them, and I make pestos and stuff, and they're all kind of looking at me like, oh, okay, oh, well, yeah, okay, huh.
You're like, I'm eating my supplements. Are you taking a bunch of supplements? But you're eating, it's like because I'll cook food sometimes or I'll prepare food and it will have bitter edges and things like that. But I don't take any supplements or anything. But I'm like, oh, dandelion. I need to eat some dandelion. And listening to your body is good too, right? Like the other morning, I was like, I woke up and I have no idea why. I was like, I need to go eat dandelion greens like right now. And I walked outside and oh my gosh, they were so good. They were so good. That's
Yeah,
what
when your body wants it, that's for sure, Wyatt. And like pumpkin seeds are anti-parasitic, and yet they're tasty, and you can use sunflower seeds as an alternative, or like there's all sorts of options. It's just like what you have and what you want and what you really like.
Yeah.
Mix and match and try it out, and yay.
Yeah, totally. Totally. And our gardens, we'll plant our gardens, right? And we'll plant plants that we want. And then it's so cool because nature's like, and here's some other plants that you didn't know that you needed, but you need. And it puts those quote unquote weeds there. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I add one of my favorites. I mean, garlic you already mentioned, but parsley. I just love parsley and
Wow.
Italian parsley, so not the curly parsley, so it's not so spiky and it's delicious. And again, you can thin down the bitter of the dandelion and the plantain. But once you get used to eating it and your body likes it, like the bitter doesn't bother me so much. But I can see how some new person, it's like, wade into it little by little. Don't use too much at one time. Get your body used to it and your taste buds used to it.
Yeah. Yeah. Parsley is like Larissa just said, super nutritious green, like high. She has vitamin K and it has like a really high chlorophyll content too. It's really like a power green. I mean, it's from the Greeks, I believe. There's like, I mean, they ate a lot of parsley and I mean, all over. These herbs are all over the world, all over.
Yeah, and just seeing what your body likes, right? Because different people gravitate to different things. So if one doesn't work for you, another will. You can get your greens and your chlorophyll from different sources, right? Or your bitters like artichokes, whatever. I mean, there's all sorts of ways. Then I get like grilled artichoke hearts in oil, and then the oil's already there with the artichokes have steeped in it, and that's good for your liver and gallbladder. And just add a little bit of that and makes the pesto different and tasty, just whatever. Try it, go with what your body wants.
I didn't even think about artichokes and pesto. That's a new combination. Interesting. Wow.
I just chop them up and it adds a little something different too, and takes away again from the bitter. Yum.
Something I really wanted to grow horseradish. Is anyone growing good horseradish? Oh, I want to so bad. I want to make some fire cider, and I love pungent herbs. Those are so good for my body. Like I could just grate horseradish over everything I eat.
Wow, that's fantastic. And lemons, lemon or lime, you can squeeze into these things, and then again, it helps to take away from the bitter and it all adds nutrition. Like anything you're adding is like giving you more and a good combo. It's just see what your taste buds like and mix and match and try it on pasta or rice.
Yeah.
Or even as a dip for organic corn chips and stuff. Like, wow.
Larissa, you may not be able to grow horseradish, but at least you can grow ginger and turmeric. I mean, come on, that's like Like I wish I can grow them in the summer and then they'd die.
So many ginger and turmeric.
Ah,
When I moved here, I decided I need to grow 4 things: ginger, cayenne, lemon. Well, I cannot do maple syrup, but whatever other sweetness, honey. So my next step will be bees. So on
Mhm.
those 4 ingredients, you make a drink and you can survive for 2 months in that drink. You don't need anything else. That's an old recipe for models to be, but it has nothing to do just to be thin. But so those minerals and nutrition of those 4 ingredients are amazing. Lemon, ginger, well, maple syrup, I cannot have it here. And what am I missing? Lemon, ginger,
cayenne.
and cayenne. Yeah, 4. And
That's,
water, of course.
I've drank that quite frequently. It's very good. There was times when I wasn't intentionally doing a fast, but I would be working and I'm just like, I don't need to eat anything. I'll have some lemon and ginger cayenne maple syrup water. It's so good. It is so good. Um, uh, Larissa, Leonid Shrashkin, maybe you will maybe like him. I'm gonna put a link. Check that link out. Well, I guess it didn't link it, but horizontalhive.com. I've taken his bee class before. Definitely check that out if you're looking to get bees. That's keeping bees the right way for sure. There we go.
Ariella Daly, she's in, I think, California. Ariella Daly, I've taken some courses from her. She's amazing.
Okay,
With
cool.
bees and
Well,
dreaming.
all my friends who had the beehives, they lost one person lost 35 hives, another lost 20 after hurricane. It just so bad, but we'll get back. Yeah.
They'll get back. They'll get back.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And by the way, amaranth, if you guys are gonna grow amaranth, plant them next to cucumbers or pumpkin, because the bugs and brassica as well, because bugs love amaranth and amaranth doesn't mind to be eaten. They're so strong. They're like, okay, you can eat me, I'll grow more. So the bugs will eat amaranth instead of other plants around.
I did not know that.
Yep. Here we go. Little tip for free.
That's funny. Yeah, because my amaranth out there right now has bug bites all over the leaves.
That's all right. That's totally fine.
Yeah, it's got big, beautiful heads.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I read something recently again with medicinals, so like anything, I used to be all picky and I wanted just the most perfect leaves and whatever. And then I've recently read that actually the ones that have had some bug bites in them and stuff, they make more of the good stuff. So you're well off to eat some of the stuff that's being chewed on by the bugs and that. So that's really helped me to eat some of the not so nice looking things, but it's fine. It's like good.
So my friend Carrie has this very beautiful perception too. He says that, and this is from the work of John Kempf, if anyone wants to look it up, John, and then it's Kempf. Basically that if a plant is being eaten by a bug, you actually don't want to eat that plant anyway. That there's something in the plant then that's off, because he says that plants have an immune system just like people do, and if the plant's immune system is not right, because it's not getting the nutrition it needs, then like Larissa said, the plant is weak, and then it can't put out those defense mechanisms, right? Like a lot of plants will like have this like chemical on the surface of their leaves, or maybe like a pungency. That's where like garlic is like totally fine, right? Because it's a garlic. I mean, nothing's gonna eat the garlic. They're like, oh my gosh, too garlic. Or onions, things like that. But the leafy greens, right? Like it's like, oh, this is tasty. This is easy to eat, but they can protect themselves. The soil just has to be right. So like Larissa said again, heal your soil. Heal the soil.
That's true. I've heard that too, but this was new and I was like, I wanted to think, okay, well, it's really interesting because the plant's still growing. Like she says, the amaranth is strong and healthy, but you wouldn't stop eating the amaranth and they're going to go, bugs are going to go for something like,
Yeah.
and not necessarily only, I'm wondering, and again, I don't know, but not maybe just the weakest link plants or the weakest link in your garden, maybe like the plantains, they seem really strong and healthy. It's like maybe in some bugs go because the plant can take it and they just know there's a symbiosis there or something.
And I don't think it's like oh, this plant is being eaten, I can't eat any of this plant. I think what I meant to say is that particular part in the plant, right? Like, what I'm trying to say? Like if there's a big leaf and then like, oh, there's a hole here and a hole here, like, or like there's a one worm in an apple, like eating a spot in the apple, like, well, maybe that part of that apple wasn't good anyway, but doesn't mean that we don't eat the apple. Like you eat the leafy greens, you eat the apple still. But I think it's just finding that peace with, the bugs eating your plants.
Yeah. Bit of sharing.
Yeah. I mean, come
But
on.
I also have heard what Larissa's saying, where it's like there usually need to be some soil amendments and considerations if there's a lot of bugs going after all of your plants, different
Compost
plants.
tea. Compost tea, everybody. You want to know the secret? Compost tea. That's the secret. Life. Here's the number one fundamental truth. Your soil already has everything it needs. The fact is that your soil may not have the life making it available. Compost tea is the best thing you can do for your soil. Compost, but realize it's not the organic. I mean, granted, if you're in the desert and you have sand, like you need organic matter. But mineral wise, Dr. Elaine Ingham is a wonderful resource. Check her out, Dr. Elaine Ingham. I'll even put a link in here. She has basically spent years and years researching, and she has found every single soil has all of the molecules that it needs, all of the minerals. But the question is there life there that makes it bioavailable for the plant to take up? So you can check her out. That she started the Soil Food Web. I just put that link in there. Her classes are absolutely incredibly outrageously expensive, but she is very, very, very knowledgeable, and she has a lot of free content out there and a lot of people working with her. So yes, check her out.
Let me know if you'd like to hear my Jason's Compost Tea Song.
You have a Compost Tea Song, Hulda?
Of course.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I have a whole songbook called We Are Nature.
All right, I'm ready, Hulda. I did not even think you had a Compost Tea Song. This is going to be an epic one.
I solicited some recipes from friends about a little over a year ago, in anticipation of a workshop or series of workshops on food sovereignty. And so my friend Jason submitted what turned into this.
Okay.
A bucket full, half of water, half of poop of horse or cow, seasoned with fresh comfrey leaves and spirulina. Let it stand for months on end, covered so rain can't get in, letting light and air still be there. I swear, don't know why. Strain and mix a cup per gallon or even 2 of water. This will baptize an entire garden. You'll see that plants will grow just like a mofo. All is brought to you by PEEP and H2O. Can't you see? Haven't sung this in a while, sorry. Can't you see how happy we will be with our homemade compost tea?
That's awesome. Oh, love it.
There's Carla's lung liberating mush, Eddie's cilantro, coriander, chelation pesto. There's the pea train, Penelope's fire cider, Mariana's red cabbage sauerkraut, Ben's turkey jerky, Ben's pemmican.
Wow. Hey, do you have a song about the ringing cedars of Russia yet?
No, I kind of thought about that and I thought, well,
Okay.
nothing comes to mind, but then lots of people have been writing songs, so maybe there's no need.
Oh, so you're gonna just write songs about compost, but not ringing cedars? Come on now.
Lots of people have been writing ringing cedars songs, haven't they, for the last 20 years or something?
Yes, that's true. I have a notebook right there. That's true.
I mean, not that I have to be exclusive or anything. It's just
Well, I just thought your talents would be really well put to use, but hey, Yolda, that's fine.
Well,
We won't be able to enjoy what you could come up with.
graces me. I'm happy to share.
Okay. Okay.
I also have Dreaming Healthy Soil, Rainwater, and then there's a Stepping into Sovereignty section, Old McGates, Grow, 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 aka Grow Food Security. Old McWater, waterboarding. The California Water Board last year took reservoir water and dumped it in the ocean for the poor little saltwater fish, to help the saltwater fish with fresh water.
Oh boy.
Brilliant.
You've
So
got it.
we're getting robbed, and the crops. And then there's also Waterlandia and We Are Nature, Head to Toes. That's almost all of the songs in the We Are Nature songbook, which is also on my webpage at solari.com.
Okay. Thank you, Hulda. Larissa, yes, go ahead.
Yes, guys, not a website, a documentary about this guy who wrote a lot of books how to heal the soil, and he's from South Africa, and he was born there. He has a lot of talks in the United States. The last talk he did in the TED site, or whatever the university is, and he said, this is the last chance for us to save the soil. And he teaches in little villages in Africa how to create from all this crack, like untouched soil, to beautiful one.
Is this
And
Alan Savory?
yes.
Yeah, okay, everybody, I'm gonna put the link.
And the only thing he said, I tried so hard, but nobody cares. Just nobody cares. So all this big BS right now about taxes and this and that, take cows. His approach, we need more cows because they need to pee and poo to create a good soil. And that documentary, I just sent it to you, I put in a link. You can watch, it's just amazing. Amazing. And how bad, and now all this propaganda, how cows poo and pee bad for us. No, it's not. It's other way around.
The plants love it.
Yeah, but what he does, he put the cows in one for the 7 days in one spot at the nighttime, that they take them to eat the grass during the day. They bring them back and they change the location. And after the cows leave, go to the other location, what happened with the soil? It's just like a miracle, And also he said the reason why we need the cows, because cows has to eat the grass. If the grass have not been eaten, the grass will get fungus and dies.
Sounds a little bit like chicken tractors.
Yeah, she's speaking about rotational grazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's incredible. My friend Carrie does that with sheep, and it really is. Grasses were meant to be eaten, certain ones, right? The native grasses, some of them are meant to be prairie grasses, but yeah, grasses is meant to be eaten, and we can heal the planet. We can make soil rapidly with animals. And we kind of owe that, right? Because we've degraded the land with animals.
Mhm.
Now we need to rebuild it with the same animals, and it's possible. It's being done. I'll share a quick video here if I can. I'll find one. It's like amazing what these farmers are doing with soil, and it's, you know, regardless of if you eat meat or not, you know, like I don't eat meat or anything, but I am supportive of the farmers doing these projects, because it is important that those who are still choosing to eat meat are at least doing it in a way that's healing the earth, right? So yeah, I think it's very important that we support that and that we advocate for that. Yes. Let me find this video for people.
Speaking of pee and poop, would you like to hear the pee train?
Oh my gosh. Hold on.
She never stops.
Yeah, of course.
That pee that you flush into the sea is full of minerals that plants do need. While it seems like crud, it's just like blood, minus the iron that makes red the blood. We are taught that pee is waste, nasty, dirty, though commonplace. From Mother Nature, another estrangement, a setup for enslavement. Catch your pee to serve plants as tea. Put on your skin to make it healthy. Drink it for ails, including cancer. Your pee can be the answer.
Beautiful. By the way, the best fertilizer, as we have a shortage, the best fertilizer, your own pee, as long as you don't take any medication. You take a big bucket, put 3 quarts, and that's it. Your plants will be very, very happy.
How do you apply it? Because I mean, I just go
Well,
around
you collect 3 quarts of your pee and mix with a 5-gallon bucket.
of
And
water.
then you just pour it, not on the leaves, right on the soil, straight to the roots.
Okay. Okay.
Once in a month, you can start from there and you can see how they react.
Okay. I've never done it. I've never kept my own pee. I've just peed around my plants, but I'll try that.
You can burn them that way.
Well, they never got burned because I never did it around too many plants at the same, you know what I mean? Like I would like it just one plant and I'd stand back and it wouldn't be so close to the stalk of the plant. Yeah. I mean, I figured animals pee on the plants and the grass. Come on, the cows pee on the grass and
They can do it. Why can't we?
right, come on. But I'll try that. I'll try that. I'll try that, letting it with the water. You can burn the plants. I know that you can burn the plants. Whoa, I like that. Marjorie Wildcat, that a person urinates in a year the exact amount of nitrogen they need for fertilizer to grow the food they need to eat. Whoa. That's pretty wow. That's cool. That is a really sweet piece of information, Kevin. I'm typing that in.
Peas. Would you like to dream healthy soil with me?
Would I like to what?
Dream healthy soil.
Is this a song, or are we gonna actually dream together?
Well, we could do both.
I mean, I really do dream about soils. Although my last nature world dream was with squirrels. The squirrels were my friends, and it was good. They were not afraid of me anymore.
You said a nature world dream? What do you say?
Yeah, like, you know, my last dream where I was like really in nature in the dreams, and yeah, it was the squirrels. They kept jumping up on this wooden deck, and I was like, oh, hello, hello, and they weren't afraid of me. It was nice. Because we have really domesticated squirrels here, but they're so afraid still. And I'm like, I'm not going to eat you. I'm not going to hurt you. I want to feed you. Why are you so afraid?
One of my local squirrels yesterday stopped as I came towards him or her and didn't run away for quite a while. I just stopped and talked to him. And then he decided to move on. But that was amazing. First time that's happened. I didn't sing my good morning song to him. I should have.
hold on. He might not come back now. He or she may not come back.
Why? Because I didn't sing?
Yeah, you got to keep them coming like Snow White.
I saw, well, a squirrel later on running along the top of the fence.
Oh, okay. You're
And
like,
they,
you could be like Snow White, you know, like she sings and the animals come.
yeah.
It's good. That's a good thing.
Dreaming healthy. Oh, wait a minute. I got a phone call I got to make. Sorry.
All right.
Later.
Bye. Hold on. She's a treat. Oh gosh, I love these type of conversations about the plants and everything. It's so beautiful. Plants heal the soil, plants heal us. It's really amazing. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to planting trees that will like apples. I cannot wait to eat the apple that I grow. Oh, yes. Or peaches. We have persimmons here, so we have persimmons ripening. Oh, so good. Pawpaws too. Pawpaws, anybody? No, everybody not heard of a pawpaw? The Ozark custard apple. Oh, it's so good. Shane, have you had a pawpaw?
I'm not even sure what that is.
What?
I feel like I've heard of it before, but
You guys.
I have a neighbor who showed me her pawpaw trees. She has three pawpaw trees that she planted, and apparently they're I don't know. She hasn't gotten any fruit yet.
This is a pawpaw tree. So it gets like these, you know, it's like it's the only native tropical fruit to the United States.
And it tested positive for COVID a couple of years ago, according to I think it was Nigeria, pawpaw and motor oil and things
What?
like. Yeah, they sent those results into the United Nations or some phony baloney group.
Well, anyway, well, okay, that's I guess. But these are like they call them like it's like a cross between a mango and a banana and warm pudding, and they are very delicious. They're very delicious. If you're in the Midwest area, grow you some pawpaws. Shane, maybe you should get some pawpaws and grow them. They like water though. They like water and shade. Yeah, deer and squirrel do love persimmon.
So it was Tanzania.
Oh. Is anyone growing anything over the winter? Well, Larissa, you don't count, okay? You're in Florida. Is anyone growing anything over the winter in the temperate climates? Got a little greenhouse with some greens or anything?
well, I'd like to try sprouting the lamb's quarter seeds, maybe.
Yeah. Yeah, I think you could do that. I think you totally can do that, man.
I've got a windowsill nursery, and I have one pea plant. I planted carrot and peas and various things, and I've got one pea plant that's finally doing something and actually starting to get some pea pods.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, and I'm not going to transplant it. The other two I the first one I transplanted died after a few weeks, and the other one is still alive, but it's not developing. It's not getting bigger, and so keeping the third one inside. And I sing every morning,
That's
of
beautiful.
course.
Of course.
The good morning song that I composed for my windowsill seedlings.
That's really beautiful, actually. It makes me want to compose songs for everything. Thank you, Marie. It was good to have your energy here. Thank you so much.
Gotta go.
Bye. I want to make this connection too, Larissa. Like maybe you plant with the planets, right? Like you plant with the moon. Do you practice that?
No, I'm not that advanced.
That's not advanced. It's not advanced here. Let me show you the calendar. It's a really easy calendar to use.
Well, my answer, no. I plant when I have time. I'm glad I didn't plant any seeds before the hurricane. Otherwise, everything will be destroyed. and it will be heartbreaking because my seeds are very expensive. I'm getting all them from rareseeds.com or Baker Creek. And
Baker Creek's, that's in
yeah,
my state.
yeah, I know. So tomorrow it's my day. Then now the temperature drops at night around 75. I'm looking forward. This is our season right now.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, Baker Creek has a really big village here that you can go and see. They call it their Pioneer Village, and that's where they grow all of these things, huge greenhouses. Really cool company, actually. I'll put the link in here. Really cool company. You can obviously, I'm very excited that they're in my home.
Yes, and you can get a free catalog, and for any areas, and even in Canada, Willow, you can get some stuff, and you can grow in your house in the pots, because I don't grow everything in soil. I have a lot of pots and plants in the pots, including trees. Like all my citrus trees that are still in pots.
Oh, really?
Yep.
When will you plant them out?
Soon. Soon.
I don't know why it's adding those super long links into the chat, but the last one I put is the rare seeds, or the Baker Creek seeds. They call them rare seeds.
Yeah.
Super high quality seeds and really, really beautiful, like amazing things. I got one beet. I think they still have it on here. Oh no, they don't. It's called the Cropendine beet. It's like one of the oldest beets in the world. They just have like a lot of really cool stuff. It's very cool to just look through their store. Yeah. And as Larissa said, the free catalog too.
Yes, well, I was doing my research in 2020, and one of the gentlemen who I was following, he's like, if you want to have if you want to give the best Christmas gift, give this. And he showed the catalog. So I took a picture and sent the picture to my friend in New York, like, that's what I want for Christmas. So he bought me a catalog, 500 pages. So I took my time, but I really study from A to Z. Then I would do research online, and I will read everybody's whatever plants I was interested to. I would read the comments and to see if this seed will really work in my zone. So I bought this beautiful sunflower seeds, and parrots would eat them all the time, or bugs. And then one of my friends, she took a master gardening program, and she said, this sunflower, particular that kind, will never grow in Florida because bugs will eat them all the time. So I sent the email to Baker Creek. I'm like, please, can you put some notes so people won't waste money, because we cannot grow them here. So little things, live and learn.
Live and learn. Mm-hmm. What's the first thing you do in life? You plant a tree.
Yes.
And then you live and learn.
Yes, because that's at least you're gonna have a meaning of your life. You gave the life to the tree, which will live longer than you.
Yeah.
And give oxygen and other stuff for people.
Yeah. It's really beautiful. We have this opportunity to really plant a new earth.
Mm-hmm. When you were saying about Larissa maybe planting by the moon or whatever, I've been doing that, but I suspect, given what she said about her plants and her intent, that she probably almost intuits and kind of naturally ends up planting and doing things at the right kinds of times. Totally. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, plants are, we talked about this and discovered this together probably about 6 months ago on a community call, that plants and planets have an intricate connection, and that the plants are a way for us to communicate with the planets, and the plants are a way for the planets to communicate with us, and there's certain times of the month when, there's varieties, maybe you've even seen it, Larissa, like the cantaloupe that Baker Creek has, that says when you eat the cantaloupe on the full moon, you'll fall in love. Yeah, there's a specific seed it says on there. So for so long, harvesting certain herbs on certain days, this gardening is really gardening is our connection to the universe, and our connection to God, and our connection to all the things that are like the rational world. I think it's a really, really powerful practice, and I'm excited for next season. I've got a new space to garden. And geez, Larissa's just got me all inspired about vertical sweet potatoes and
Everything, watermelons, melons, you can do everything vertical. You buy this cow,
yeah, hog fencing.
yes. So I bought 8 by 16, and some of them I cut in half. So I have a narrows and I have long ones, and some I put just vertically, so the plant can go over. Like I said before, I grow a loofah, and loofah is so aggressive. It grow to the palm tree and to my neighbor. And they're like pumping. And last year I struggled. I couldn't grow even one loofah. This year, like crazy, because I bought the seeds from Baker Creek. I have a lot of loofah, and the hurricane killed maybe 5 or 6, but they're such a survivals. They're still blooming.
And they have
And I track a lot of bees also.
They have such a pretty bloom. Their yellow flower is really pretty.
Oh, is that the snake bean? Not the long bean, snake bean, aka python bean. The flower, it's a white flower with a lot of, like, it's very complex. It's so beautiful, very little.
Does
You
Baker
can look
Creek-
at the, look, you
Baker-
can look at the, yeah, Baker Creek.
Okay, I'm gonna check.
I think I bought like 10 seeds for $4. I'm like, it's worth it. I want to try in a tree. And when you eat raw, it tastes like cucumber.
Whoa.
And when you cook, you don't eat seeds. You keep the seeds. So inside it's hollow. You just collect the seeds. And when you saute or bake, it's a kind of unique flavor. Nothing you can compare. But when you eat raw, it's a cucumber.
Okay.
And it's not a nightshade for people with arthritis. So it's a new stuff. Live and learn. And also green pineapple. If you guys ever can buy green pineapple up north, and if you have customers or friends who has arthritis and they don't want to eat an eggplant because it's a nightshade, green pineapple, when you saute or bake, tastes exactly like an eggplant.
Really?
Yes.
Interesting. Yeah, I have some friends that are trying to stay away from nightshades right now.
Yeah, me too. I've been experimenting for 6 months.
This is the snake bean you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay, and it gets like 5 feet long.
Yep. It could be long, it could be very curly. It's just unpredictable. Beautiful plant. Low maintenance, the same as a loofah, box free. You don't have to do anything. Just let them grow and give them some water and love.
Beautiful. Well, my dear friends, it's rounding
It's
9
10 o'clock.
9 o'clock. Yeah, 9 o'clock here. I got to go. This has been an absolutely beautiful conversation. John, John, I don't know if you've been meaning to do that, or it's not John, Jesse Jacobs, you've been typing direct message to me. I don't know if you're looking to say that to everyone. Maybe I'm not sure. Yes. Okay. Maybe not. Christine Marie, thank you so much. I'll be sending you an email. Hopefully maybe we can connect afterwards. This has been a really beautiful conversation. Yeah, thank you so much for joining, Tutu. I just feel so happy after I talk with you guys. Like, so good. Larissa, check out the books, the PDF, that link. Check them out. You won't regret it. You can also, let me send you this real fast. You can listen online, like audiobook. That's for a lot of people really helpful. Here we go. Okay.
Lime green.
Oh yeah, you already know it.
Oh yeah, I like her so much better than this other woman who was recommended by somebody.
Check out that, Larissa, and then just go to videos, and then, go to playlist, and then do like start with book one, which she has titled as Anastasia. That's the best.
She's got all of them, all of the
Yeah,
books,
yeah, but I would start with book one if I were you. But
except for 9.
Thank you. Thank you. I will. Thank you so much. I'm so
no problem.
excited.
Yeah, well, we hope to see you here again, Larissa. Hope to see you
Yeah,
again, Willow.
I'll be in the chat. Yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining, Shane. Thank you, everyone here. I'll be back in a week and a half. If you're not on the Telegram, stay updated on the community platform. I post these calls to YouTube. Check our YouTube out as well. Bright thoughts, so much love. We're entering the winter season. Approach it gracefully and with ease. Thank
Are
you
you
so
coming
much.
to Music and Sky?
Oh no, I'm in Missouri. Oh gosh, no. I'm not that, I don't have that much money. I can't buy a plane ticket right now.
Yeah,
No,
I'll
no.
be singing there. I was invited to sing there.
Oh, that's so cool. That's awesome. Yes, long live Warren County, Kevin. That's where I'm moving to. That's my temporary home until my domain. Okay, bye everybody.
Bye.
See ya.
Thanks for it.
No problem. Thank you, Willow. Have a good night, everyone.